Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are at the Orange County Department of Education panel powered by StriveScan this evening. Super excited to have our panelists here. Before we get started, I did want to introduce myself. My name is Sibel. I'll be your facilitator for this evening. I may be popping in and out, but basically just helping you all make sure that you have an amazing and efficient panel for this evening. Now, attendees, you are going to learn some amazing things from these panelists. They are super exciting and enthusiastic people, and really just excited to be here and have us all learn a little bit about what they have to offer. So just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started for this virtual college fair here. Remember, this is a webinar style formatted type of panel. So what that means is you are muted and your video is turned off. The panelists cannot see or hear you. Okay, now you're probably going to be wondering, well, how do I ask the questions that I have? That's a great question. You're just going to click on that Q&A button in your Zoom toolbar. There is a Zoom toolbar there down at the bottom or somewhere on your screen when you open up Zoom, and it will be a Q&A button that you will click on and type in your questions to the presenters at any time. They may have a live Q&A happening at the end, or they may answer some of your questions throughout the entire presentation. Now, also, we do have other sessions that are available, maybe not particularly for the Orange County Department of Education, but other StriveScan fairs that you might want to check out. So please check the schedule on the website for that. And also, maybe somebody missed out tonight. Maybe a friend wants to check out this panel, or mom missed out. Or maybe you just want to relive the fun with us. Well, you absolutely can do that because a recording will be available. All the sessions are being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/COSI. Now, without further ado, I would love to get started. Our two panelists for this evening's session is Kathy Boyd and Kim Goodwin. So I would love to invite them and get started. Thank you all so much.
Thanks so much, Sibel. So welcome. Glad you guys could join us at 4 o'clock on a Thursday. I know there's other fun things to be doing, so we appreciate you guys logging in, and we're going to make this interactive and fun and hopefully engaging for you. Kim is the coordinator of what we call OC Pathways at Orange County Department of Ed, and she's going to be navigating some slides in a minute here, and she's also going to be navigating the Q&A, so feel free to drop those questions like Sibel mentioned inside the Q&A, and we'll approach them on the different parts of the topics as we go across. And my name is Kathy Boyd. I'm the director of the Career Education Unit at Orange County Department of Ed, and we kind of just cover everything under the college and career readiness spectrum. So I'm going to have Kim share her screen, and you're going to see probably a presentation that looks like an iPad pop up.
And can you see that, Kathy?
What was that?
Can you see it?
I can see it. Thank
Great.
you.
Yes.
So what we've done is put this presentation in an iPad. It's called Find Your Future Now. We're going to be talking about things like enrolling in CTE, because we know most of you are probably still in high school, or you're a parent of somebody who's still in high school. So we really want you to take advantage of all the resources you have right now. A lot of students don't take advantage of all the resources, but the big objective is let's have you save as much time and as much money and get as much guidance and preparation towards your future as possible. So we'll talk about a lot of different things that you saw on the sign up registration. And I think the iPad, if you want to go to the next page, Kim, will give us our feature topics. And what we're going to kind of do is ask either, if you guys don't give us something in the Q&A as far as a topic, then Kim's going to just pick one. But Kim, would you mind just going over these topics as we go over them? I'm going to have you hit the icon or just reference it, and I'll tell you. So that's an Enroll in CTE Classes. Somebody could put that. We're going to figure out which one you guys want us to talk about first. So Enroll in CTE Classes is one. Another one is check out testing deadlines. The next one is attend college fairs. The next one is get your letters of recommendation. The next one is think about essay topics. The next one is explore dual enrollment and articulation. Not sure if you know what those are, but we'll explain that. Following one is volunteer, community service, internships and work experience. All of that belongs in the same conversation. The next one is refine your skills under student leadership, that kind of centric feeling. And then next one is acquire industry certifications. If you don't know what those are, that's a fun topic. And then finally, experience work-based learning. So does anyone, on the left-hand side, it says, what is on your mind? And it says college and career. And then there's this little button that says, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. So after tonight, you can learn a lot more that you can be doing and then hopefully put that into practice. So does anybody want to add into the Q&A a topic that we just went over so that we kick that off? Kim, has anybody entered anything?
I have not seen anything yet, so go ahead and do so, or we can
Want to
just
pick
jump.
one then, Kim? We'll go with that.
Let's see here. No answered. Oh, someone just came in. Internships.
Go for it.
Yep,
Let's look at
multiple
that.
internships coming in. So let's go
Beautiful.
to this button.
Okay, so what you're seeing is an interactive like Bitmoji page. And what we have is a bunch of links on here. By the way, Kim, while you have a moment, if you have not
Sure.
already, would you drop into the chat the link to
Absolutely.
this slide deck? This slide deck is going to be made available to you through that. Any of you can take that, copy, paste it, email yourself, or save it on the computer or the device you're watching on. Anything you're hearing about, you can look at later. It's for you to keep and use as you see. So under this topic, we're talking about all four things. And I'm really going to say these again so that you don't lose it. Volunteering, we hear a lot about that when we talk about college applications. Community service, same type of topic, but said another way. I want you to start interrelating the term internship and the term work experience or work-based learning to this conversation as well. So Kim, go ahead and click on the first, the top. What does that say there?
3 websites that can help you find volunteer opportunities.
Okay, click on that.
Okay.
So Kim and I, by the way, we used to be school counselors. So we are all about like sharing as much as we can. That's all free and getting you as prepped as possible. So we did counseling for many, many years with students trying to help them get into the college of their choice. This is a website, a link to 3 different websites, and she's going to scroll down a little bit. And the one that I used the most when I was in practice, but this has been a while, is volunteermatch.org. But the reason I liked volunteermatch.org is because it would take me to a site where somebody could put what their interest was. So I like working in nature. And then you could find volunteer opportunities that were related to that. And then you could put your zip code in, and then it helps you with those opportunities that are near your home. And then it allows you to contact the company or the representative and see if they have opportunities available. So love that one. I have not personally used idealist.org or allforgood.org, but those are probably very useful websites because they wouldn't be on here otherwise. Kim, have you used either of those?
Just the volunteer match as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fun.
Same.
Okay. So that's 3 that you might want to look into. Let's go back to the page and let's go. What does the next one say?
The next one says top 10 tips for serving sensibility.
Okay.
Sensibly, excuse me. It's very small.
It's very small, Kim. It's very small.
Yes. Okay, I'll click on that for you guys.
Thanks. So it's going to get into the actual logistics about when you become a volunteer or community service representative. And it's going to give you a little bit of guidelines there. Sometimes you have people on your school sites that do this for you. Other times you don't. So if you don't, feel free to use this resource and look through that before you're going out on these experiences. The more prepared you are and the better that you represent yourself to these professionals, the more likely you are to get somebody that you're working with in a volunteer mode to be a reference or a mentor for you as you move forward. And those are really, really important in every aspect of your future. So I just, as much guidance as you can take from this and extract and utilize is great. I don't want to read all those for you because you guys are all intelligent and you know how to read. So we'll go to the next.
13 steps to volunteering in your community.
So again, I think that's a combination of these 2 types of things, various websites, and then the guidance and steps. So you're going to see just 3 different, very informational sources and links for you to utilize. Now I want to go into this. So you're seeing below, gain employment skills through what we call work experience or internships. So I don't think the link is on here, but let me go ahead and go to the find your career button on the left, Kim. That blue box. Go ahead and click that. If you have not been on the Glassdoor website, this is a job searching website. The thing that makes this website unique and why I like it, it's completely free, of course, but it's a way to look at kind of interviewing companies. Like, I wonder if I would want to work there, because there's employee reports of what this company is like to work for. So, and when you're looking at various industries and future jobs, this is a really cool website that's a little bit different than the typical job search websites. So I wanted to put you under that. And now we're going to go back to internships. Depending on, oh, let me go to Square Edge. Go to the one on the bottom.
Square Edge is
This
great.
is really cool. So this is a gentleman who speaks at multiple conferences that Kim and I would go to. But basically he is very in tune with the high school age student right now. And the way he messages on your preparation skills for internships and jobs is fabulous. That was Eric, right? What's his name? Eric? I can't remember his last name.
Eric Fan.
Okay. So he's fabulous. He has videos that you might want to watch. But you're going to really probably enjoy his very authentic approach to communicating about, I think they've got major themes that they cover, and it all has to do with basically work-based learning and internships and finding a job when you actually get to that point. So we just wanted to put those few on there. But when it comes to internships, typically they're associated with your school. So I would say in Orange County, because that's the area that we're working from, you're going to have high schools that have professional internship courses, and they're typically called capstone courses. So every spring when you get to register for your courses, you can basically choose which classes you want to take. Internship is usually one of those choices. Sometimes they're embedded inside the school day. So you can take it as like a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth period. Mostly though, you see it embedded at the end of a school day so that our juniors and seniors who are typically wanting to take internship courses can embed them after their other courses are done. And then typically what they do is kind of have a check-in day once a week with the classroom teacher. And then the other days they spend various times at the work site getting some employability skills. You will find that your school may offer paid internships or they may be unpaid internships. But most of the experience I have with internships over the last 15 years is you usually have an offer of employment, especially if you're good. So the employment may or may not make sense, because if you're looking at going to a four-year college and potentially moving out of the region or the area, that may or may not be something you're looking for. But many times people are looking to work and go to school at the same time after they graduate from high school. So if you've done an internship in high school and you happen to be staying local and that company is available, then you have an automatic job oftentimes. And then oftentimes companies will invest in your college education. So they will either give you sometimes completely free rides through your college education and your bachelor's degree, or you will get a scholarship to compensate for some of the costs that you have to incur. So the larger companies, I think Disney is one of them. There's a few different ones in the Orange County area that are very vocal about, I think the last thing I heard was it Uber? I think I heard a commercial that Uber's doing free college tuition. The more and more I hear they're doing free college tuition for people. So getting that edge in high school where you can incorporate it in as a class or an experience and get your foot in the door, it may end up paying off in big ways towards your college tuition. So that's just something to keep in mind. And that's one of the ways CTE is really valuable in high school, because that's typically where you're going to find those experiences. So
Hey,
as
Kathy,
you have questions, drop them in.
Yeah,
Kim.
we had someone in the chat put, what is dual enrollment? So I figure we could click on that one and dive into that one a little bit. How about that? Okay.
And if we didn't answer questions about internships, always feel free to drop that in Q&A because we'll come back to it. Okay, dual enrollment and articulation. So dual enrollment refers to a student. Go ahead and click on that, Kim, the infographic that you have.
Sure.
This is an example of a high school experience for, let's see what her name is. We created an infographic. Her name happens
Maria.
Okay, so Maria as a student was interested in, I think it's multimedia.
Yes,
so
correct.
She did this multimedia productions pathway that was available in her school, which meant that in 9th grade, she took this Introduction to Multimedia Productions course. It says it was articulated with Orange Coast College, which means that that class also counted for college units, probably 3 college units. So that she got the 10 high school credits and the 3 college units in her 9th grade year. That means the course was offered at the high school by the high school teacher, but the college professor looked at that course, endorsed that course, and said, if kids get a certain grade, usually it's a C or better, sometimes it's a B or better, then you can let them have college units for it as well. And you just got that all for free. Maria then went to 10th grade and she took her intermediate multimedia productions course, and that was also articulated. So there's another 3 units. What does that say on the bottom?
It says that she earned the Adobe Photoshop certification.
Oh, okay. So if you haven't heard of industry certifications, we'll go into that in another button. But basically, the industry certification makes it so that when she chooses to go get a job, if it's in this field, she'll probably bump beyond entry level pay because she already has a certification that she got in high school that the high school paid for and she didn't have to pay for. So that's fabulous. Okay, 11th grade. So in 11th grade, I took Maria took advanced multimedia and video film production, which it says UC, which means it's A through G. It's an A through G course. So it's also meeting the college, which under the visual performing art. So that's another cool thing about most CTE courses. Anyway, that was dual enrollment with Orange Coast College. So this was actually a college course. And here's the difference. The college course is taught by the college faculty member or professor. Sometimes a high school teacher becomes a college faculty member and just kind of does that on the side. Many times it's just a full-time college faculty person that's teaching a class of high school students. And sometimes the course is on your campus. Sometimes it's 30 kids from your high school. Sometimes it's just the student going to the college campus. And since COVID, it's pretty much online. So many of our classes are still online. So it sometimes is organized by the school and sometimes it's just an individual who goes on their own and seeks registration at the community college. But either way, that's another way that she probably earned 3 college units by taking a dual enrollment class. Here's the difference. I talked about articulation before, and now I'm talking about dual enrollment, right? Articulation is a course that you may or may not qualify at the end for the college credit, but in the beginning with the dual enrollment, if you opt in and enroll in that class, you're automatically going to get a college grade. So that means that if you get a D or an F, that's going to be a D or an F on your college transcript. So dual enrollment automatically hits a college transcript. Articulation stays on the high school transcript. And then you get additionally a college transcript after the fact. So that's a little bit to help you. It gets confusing. We can talk later. The final one is 12th grade. And in this one, Maria took a professional internship course in multimedia production for the high school credit. And then she also took this class at the college called Counseling 101, which is usually like navigating college and career and finding skills to be successful. So that was probably 3 units. So in this 12th grade year, she got 10 credits for high school with her internship class. And then she got 3 units for college through the dual enrollment Counseling 101 class. At the bottom, you're seeing I'm eligible to take this Orange Coast College Digital Media Arts Certificate, and I've earned 12 transferable college units. Mm-hmm. So that's 12 units you don't have to pay for when you get to college because they'll transfer to your 4-year college as well. It's a college transcript that just goes with you. And then the counselor helps you matriculate that. So go back to the buttons and see if we've missed anything. We're at 4:17. I'm checking my time, my friends. There is a video. I just don't think I'm going to have you watch it right now, but the video on the right-hand side, hover over it, Kim, just so they know. That's a link to a video and it talks about dual enrollment and articulation if you want a little bit more. What's on the left-hand side, Kim?
It's the grids.
Okay.
The grids, yeah.
So this is an example in the background of what looks almost like a 4-year plan. You're going to see it in just a sec.
Should be coming up. There it is.
And you see in the background, there's going to be you're going to see subject lines like Cte Classes, English, math, science, history, blah, 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 blah. On the left-hand side, that's all grayed out. It's like grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12. And we'll show those to you in a minute, but this particular grid is talking about dual enrollment articulation, and it brings those 3 columns out. And the reason it does that is in Orange County, we've taken the 9 community colleges that exist, and there are 58 program grids. So the thing that you see on the screen right now, there's 58 of those, and they're all specified around different career areas. So when a student or a parent is looking to take advantage of dual enrollment classes, for instance, they can go to this grid, they can click on the link that hyperlinks them to Fullerton College, for instance, and they can see what classes in that area are offered by Fullerton College, and then they can enroll in them. So this is all going to be made available to you, but I wanted to kind of explain why that grid picture is there for you. Okay, and I think that covers most of the links on that one. Right. Any questions that we need to get to, Kim, on that?
I don't see any specific to dual enrollment, so we can move on to a different area.
Let's go to the first one where it says enroll in Cte Classes.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, look at you doing the dab here. There you go. Or maybe it's me because the brown hair.
I think you're the brown hair. Okay, so let's go to the grid again and pull that link up, and then we'll go to the big choice one. So I talked about the grids a little bit, my friends, and I just wanted to show you, this is another, I've pulled out on the left-hand side and Kim just took her arrow and went down. What you're seeing there are different boxes, which means different opportunities in each grade level, middle through high school, to take CTE classes. Sometimes your middle school offers them, sometimes they don't. Sometimes almost all high schools offer them. Sometimes they offer them through your ROP center, and sometimes they're offered in your high school schedule. So it's really important for parents and students to realize that all of those are available. You might need to ask a few questions to see where they are in case they're not made like obvious to you, but pretty much any single thing you want to study, you can definitely study for free in high school, either through the high school and what they offer, or through the community college and what they offer. And there's, between all of those offerings, there's nothing that's not on there. So as you go through those steps and you're looking for those opportunities or talking with other students who are looking for them, don't hesitate to go onto the ocpathways.com website. There's a little chat feature on there. You can ask us and we'll have an individual conversation with you to help if you ever need that. Go ahead, go back, Kim. What I'm going to show you on the next in the bottom, Kim, if you can go to the, yep. Just as I told you, there are 58 career sectors. There's 15 career sectors. Yeah. That's the circles around. And then there's 58 pathways. So let me go over those. Kim, hover over the green and we're going to go around. Nope. Over the top, there you go. That sector, that picture represents agriculture and natural resources. Next one represents.
And it also shows here in the middle if you need to see the visual.
Oh yeah, perfect, thank you. Next one is arts, media, entertainment, that purple one. The next one is construction and building trades. The next one is business and finance. The next one is like childcare and education. The next one is energy and utilities. And I'm sorry, energy, environment, and utilities. The next one is engineering and architecture, fashion design and interior design, medical and health sciences, or health sciences and medical technology, I'm sorry. This one is hospitality, tourism, and recreation. This one is information communications technologies. This one is manufacturing and product development. This one is sales, marketing, and service. This one is public service, so all the things incorporated, and then transportation, which could be mostly auto and airline type programs. I say all that because it's really important you can see how many options are available. So go ahead and click on that you're on one of the pathways, Kim.
Sure.
Inside transportation, there's 3 pathways, and she's linking 1, 2, 3. She's just going to click one of them. And this is all free on the website. So when you go to this, it looks like that grid or that 4-year plan I was showing you. So you can look at what your plan might look like in 8th through 12th grade. And then after 8th through 12th grade, there's an arrow on the bottom, and it talks about the industry certifications that are pertinent for that field. It talks about what majors and colleges you might want to look at. It talks about what majors, both at the community college level and the 4-year college level. And then at the very bottom, it's if you stop education at like the high school level, it lists examples of job titles based on the level that you completed. Same thing for the community college or 2-year college system. It lists other job titles. And then finally, if you're going to the 4-year college system, and those job titles. As you might guess, as you move from left to right, the compensation grows, right? So the more education in these given fields that you acquire, the higher you'll be paid when you move into the employment spectrum. So I just wanted to make sure you know that there's 58 of those available free on the website. Feel free at any time to look at them. You might even have your district or your school have those where they're putting in the names of their classes into the elective fields so that you know which ones to access. But each of your districts have these forms as well that they can use as templates.
Okay. I think we have something. Let's see. Will the slide and information be shared? Oh, absolutely. I'll drop it back in and we'll go back to home screen, and someone can drop in the Q&A if there's anything else on here that interests you, or Kathy, we can go to another one.
We can pick out another one. I would love to go to the CTSO ones, Kim, the student leadership ones.
Student leadership.
So Kim just dropped the link to the slide deck. That's for you to copy, paste, save, and use for the rest of your life, however long you want. And whenever you have questions or you're confused about anything, contact us at OCDE. Okay, this one is called student leadership. Like, what might you do as a student leader so that you can kind of become more competitive for your college application? And I'm going to introduce a term called career technical student organizations, and she's going to click a link for you. And I'm not going to play. Oh, sorry, there's another one that's a video. This is actually from California Department of Education. These are all different leadership organizations for students in high school and middle school where they can kind of get experiences outside the classroom. When somebody has these experiences and puts them on their resume, it's a pretty big boost to college admissions officers, because it's really showing your extended efforts in areas that you have an interest, and it helps them identify who you are as an individual. When they're looking at thousands of applications and reading these papers and the essays, it's hard to differentiate between who you are or who another candidate is when you're all taking the same kind of classes. So these kinds of organizations and experiences can really help mold a picture of who you are. I'm just going to go back to it one more time, Kim,
Sure.
just to give you an idea of where these fall. DECA is the first one, and it's, I'm so sorry, an association for, sorry, Kim's going to click on it. I'm losing what DECA is, emerging leaders and entrepreneurs. So
Right.
in the kind of like business field, if you're looking at entrepreneurship, go ahead and go back.
Sure.
The other ones you'll find, FCCLA, again, I think
Family,
it's for consumer sciences, family
Mhm.
consumer science, which is like home economics, fashion, interior design, things like that. The next one is Future Business Leaders of America, very similar to DECA. The next one is Future Farmers of America. So if you're looking at ag programs in your schools, and Health Occupation Student Association. So if you're looking at anything medical in your future, that's a great one. And then finally, Skillsusa, which is the most all-encompassing of pretty much anything you do. It's a great student leadership one just in general. So I wanted you to know about those. A lot of schools have clubs and organizations that you might not know about. So you should seek out if they have any of those 7 that are endorsed by California State, because a lot of those opportunities are completely paid for, and they really help you explore opportunities you wouldn't otherwise. Also, of course, there's ASB, but the CTSOs, they have this thing called student competitions. And so you actually can compete on a regional, a state, a national, and an international level. So you can imagine that that broadens your perspective quite a bit. And some of you might be looking at international universities. That's kind of a cool thing to have on your resume. So that's just another area to look at if you haven't already. Kim,
and another video there when you have time.
Oh yeah,
you can
yeah,
check
that's a
that
video
out as
explaining
well.
it.
Mhm. I think we got a couple coming in. I think someone won it. This will be available to view again. Okay. Essay topics, please. Oh, that leads you into this because you've talked about all these great things that you're doing. So
Oh yeah,
we can go
that's
to
perfect.
essay.
These
Yeah.
are the experiences that you put into your essay, by the way. But yeah, we'll go to the essay topics one.
Great.
And I'm looking at which one that was. Okay, this one has like 6 different links. I'm looking at the
Right.
number of links so that you guys know to go to those. So go ahead and click on the first link, Kim.
Mhm.
If you want some guidance, it says crushing your supplemental essay, the college-wise way, right? So these are
College-wise, yep.
these are going to give you some really good tips and tricks from a broader perspective than just your school counselor, right? It's going to give you a lot more research-based context as to what might you include. Okay, go back to the next one. They're all going to be a little bit different, but also kind of overlapping and similar. How to write a great college essay with examples. Obviously show your passion. So remember, it says show your passion. I just talked about student leadership and I just talked about CTE. Usually you're taking a CTE class because you like that. That's usually a passion or turns into a passion. So if you can extrapolate those experiences you have, especially let's say you did an internship. Oh my gosh, writing about your internship experience and your college essay, that's like gold star, A+, I promise you, it's a winning essay.
Just more.
So just
links.
a few more links.
Mhm.
I'll go back to the main. Okay, this is a Princeton Review. I don't know if you guys know about this, but I've been engaged with Princeton Review for a long time as a counselor and then some. What I love about this one, the best 387 colleges, I think that's the 2021 version. This is by students. Students actually are the people who put this publication together. So you get to hear about colleges from a student perspective. And you can go into like, things like, what's the political society like? There's a lot of this or that. What's the campus housing like? There's this or that. So it gives you these insights that you wouldn't otherwise get. And I just think it's a publication you should know about. You can go online, just like Kim is right here, and you can look at all of it. You can also buy the book and go through it that way. But there's a lot of schools. So as you're narrowing your list down, check out if it shows up in the best 387. Every year that number changes, by the way, because it's voted on by students. But this is a great resource and I love it. And I've always used it for kids. What's the next one?
Another 30 sign up genius, 35
Okay.
college essay prompts.
So example essay prompts, if you're looking for good ones, it's just, this will help you get started. Don't feel like you have to completely, come up with it on your own. There's some great things to talk about and write about. And what's,
think
oh, go to the
that
Google,
was-
go to the Google screen. Did you? is that what you
Yeah,
did?
yeah, I just did that.
This was fun. It kind of gives you some really just basic tips. And some people already have Googled something like this, but if you haven't, it's a cool way to go about topics and things like that too.
And that would be it for that one. And then let's see. Okay, so we can go back to home screen. We're at 4:30 right now.
Okay, so we have 15 minutes in total, my friends, and we may
Mhm.
leave some questions at the end or we may not. We didn't do get your
Someone
letters.
just came in.
Okay.
Okay. Nope, you're good. Keep going.
We didn't do, let's do industry certifications, Kim.
Okay.
I mentioned an industry certification, but I want to show you there's a whole button of these. And so click on the grid. Industry certifications are the things that employers recognize that mean something. And the way I like to say it is typically it's going to get you more money when you start a job because you've got something that's worth currency to them. So it sometimes comes in the form of a badge or a certificate. And it's, as you noticed on the gray part, the reason that's grayed out is because it's not showing there, but at the bottom of each of those grids, you're going to see what industry certifications are pertinent for that industry or would be valuable within that industry. So on all 58 grids, those are different items, and you might want to look at those at some point. The reason we mention it for high school is a lot of high school students don't know that that's something they can get. So you enroll in a CTE class. For instance, my son enrolled in a CTE class for multimedia arts, and he was able to acquire industry certification in Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and I'm missing one. But anyway, 3 industry certifications. Those typically cost anywhere from $100 to $300 if you're doing it on your own, but the school paid for it. So it's a really nice way to save some money and get some credentials under your belt before you leave high school during class time and during your high school years. So go ahead and go back to the main screen on this one, because I think there's another list that they might want to reference. It says what industry certifications exist or are available. So if you click on that, this is an Excel spreadsheet and it opens up, and at the bottom of the spreadsheet, you're going to see tabs for all of those industry sectors I talked about. I don't know if you can, there you go. So all the industry circles I talked about, each one of them has a list of different industry certifications, and that's always growing and developing. So we use that. You're welcome to use it as well and find out if your school offers something like that. Finally, there's a video that is put out by an organization and explains this more completely if I'm still confusing you. So feel free on your own time to look at that video. These are all usually really short videos. The next one, Kim, that we didn't hit was...
well, can I give you a question? We get asked
yeah.
this all the time, and it's like our favorite thing, right? So it says, if we can't fit it into our high school schedule, can we still get industry certifications outside of school or on our own?
Oh my gosh, yes. Did somebody really ask that, Kim?
Yeah, like verbatim.
Okay, so Kim and I laughed because this was like what prompted Kim and I to do what we do today. We needed to leave the high school counseling office and go into a regional position where we could go, it's all about creative scheduling. So yes, most likely you can fit it in, but let's say your high school doesn't offer it. You can engage with those privately on your own. By the way, if you do that, make sure you put that in your college essay. Really important thing to make sure people know that you're kind of that entrepreneurial, like go-getter, proactive, that you've navigated this on your own. Very, very cool stuff to add to your thing. But yes, any of those that you see, you recognize, you can certainly come back to, again, the ocpathways.com website, hit the chat bar and ask some questions if you're looking for some guidance on how to go through and find some of those and where you could take those industry certification exams and things like that. I say that I wish all of our high schools, I think it's growing, and I think all of our high schools should offer those embedded in somehow so that you don't have to pay for it. But yeah, if you're doing it on your own, most likely you're gonna have to pay for it, but yes, you can certainly do that. And then, oh, one more thing. If you're taking a dual enrollment class, a lot of times those are embedded inside the dual enrollment class. So you don't necessarily have to pay for it because it's embedded into the course at the community college. So that's another way to look. When you're looking at college classes, see if there's any industry certifications built into them.
Great. And we did have someone ask, and we'll go to this because we haven't gone to this tab. What are letters of recommendation and how do we get them? Oh,
okay. So when you go into the college admissions mindset, you're going to see that a lot of colleges ask for letters of recommendation. It's actually part of the application. It's a requirement. And if they ask for a letter of recommendation, it's up to you as the student to find people that will write a letter on your behalf. So it's usually like a pastor or somebody at your school, as a faculty, as teacher, or somebody that you've engaged with over your lifetime. Usually not your mom or dad or aunt or uncle, because they love you unconditionally, but somebody who knows you outside of the family setting, who can write things about you, about your character, about your persistence, about your everything, right? And so it's up to you to find who those people are going to be, which means it's really important to make connections with teachers that are helping you, because then they can write great letters of recommendation for you. But under the essay topics, or letters of recommendation topic, you're going to see some guiding tools on how to do that. And then of course we can answer questions at any time on that. Kim, did I leave anything out there?
No, I think I'm going back on the topic here, letters of rec, and I just clicked on the tips.
Okay, so go there. The thing about this, we have our team that helped us with this. Kim, as I was looking through it, this is actually writing a letter of recommendation when you're already a college student.
Yes, right.
And you're looking for an advanced program. That's why it's from Stanford, but it all applies still, you guys. It doesn't matter. All of the same things they're telling you are super relevant for when you're in high school and who you ask
early. Ask early.
Yeah, ask early no matter who you are. The other thing that I did is what helped me, Kim and I used to write millions of letters of recommendation over the years that we were counselors, because counselors are typically ones who write them for students. But it was always nice when a student would give me almost a draft version of a letter explaining who they were. So I could basically edit it and I didn't have to come up with it all on my own. So you're going to really find people that are willing to help write a letter when you can give them kind of a start on what that letter should look like, because it incorporates some of those experience. It's just like handing them a resume. Instead, you're kind of embedding your resume into a pre-formatted letter already, and then they can kind of adjust it from there and personalize it. So that's just a little trick that I liked as a school counselor. I don't know how you feel about it, Kim, but
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Oh, we have a great question here. How many letters of recommendation are allowed?
The application will typically tell you a not to exceed number. I'm used to seeing two or three. Typically, I think every application, every school, by the way, if you don't know that already, every school has their unique process. Even within the UC system, which has 12 schools, am I still right? We have 12 schools in the UC, University of California system. They each have their own admissions process. So you don't necessarily find a lot of similarity. I mean, there's some duplication, but every single college you choose to apply to, you have to look very carefully at what their admission requirements are and what their application includes. That's a tip. Be very organized about that, because there's no one size fits all when it comes to applications.
And speaking of organization, around when should you start to begin prepping for college applications?
Freshman year. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no.
I've got all of you on here. You're like, oh, I'm too late. No, I'm just kidding. Usually it starts in 11th grade. Certainly many people start it in 12th grade. The later you start, the more concentrated time you have to spend in hours of getting things together. So just kind of, what is your style and what do you like to do? Applications are typically due around Thanksgiving time of your senior year, unless you're looking for early admit, and early admit comes before that. You might want to have applications in before that deadline. And then sometimes there's an extension beyond the Thanksgiving holiday into, like kind of a late admit situation, or no deadline at all. There's colleges that don't have deadlines. They kind of have an open-ended admission system. So it's different for every school. You just kind of got to look at that. I would say the prep is as soon as you can start it. It's not too early to start it as a freshman, but you don't need to be like neurotic about it either. You can just kind of start collecting. The best idea is, as you have aha moments in your high school career, things that help define your sense of self and who you are, kind of somehow take note of that somewhere, like put a Google folder together or something and just kind of make a little note, so that when you're getting to that senior year and you're starting to turn these application in, it's easy to collect and kind of just copy and paste things versus sitting through and like muscling through your brain. When did I do that? What did I do? Was that important? Wasn't that important? You get my idea.
Right. And I wanted to add there too, you're saying prepping for applications, and that, that timeline is pretty much set. But when Kathy was talking about doing community service, getting involved, doing the things that you're passionate about, that can start early now. And that's important because then you will be writing about that or talking about that in essays if that's what you have to do.
Yeah, Kim and I are actually looking to change the system so that we have kids in elementary school already starting to understand a sense of self, like this is who I am and this is what I like. And then in middle school, doing some exploration, and then in high school, really getting to take advantage of those high school pathways with creative scheduling in their registration process. So.
Great. And then this one's kind of broad because there's multiple answers, but someone had a question. Where do you apply for colleges? Like what websites do you go to?
Kim, I
and
forgot.
apply?
We missed one.
Which
Sorry,
one
you
did we
guys.
miss? Where is that one?
Go to checkout testing deadlines.
Where am I?
That's not exactly this, but we did miss
It's
this
not.
one.
Oh, there it is. Okay, we
And
did miss this
I'll
one.
hit some things on it.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So guys, if you're looking at college admissions, so the Cal State University system is the box that says CSU, and that's a link. And then the common application is the one for, well, let me say that go to the UC one and hover over that. The UC and the Cal State are the two public university systems in the state of California. The common application hits all the others typically. So when it's not a Cal State or not a UC, then you typically find that the other university or college accepts the common application. And so if you click on those links, it gives you the deadlines and when and what it's all about and why, kind of everything you need to know. And then over on the left-hand side, Kim will go back there in a sec, there's SAT and ACT. Those are the two college admissions tests. If required, some people aren't requiring them now since COVID has passed. That's a pretty flexible idea. But if you are looking at taking the SAT test or the ACT test or AP tests, then both of those links will take you to all of those different deadlines around that as well. So testing deadlines and admissions deadlines are on this slide. We should have put admissions deadlines at the top, but you get it. Yeah. So you'll find those.
And we have 4 minutes left, Kathy. So we'll probably put it in the Q&A if you have another question just came in, and then we will have to go.
I think we hit all the topics, my friends, except maybe work-based learning, but you guys got some of that. So look at that last slide if you want. And then just know we are always available through the chat feature on the OC Pathways website. We've got a whole team of people that can answer questions and give you personal guidance, and it's all free. So don't worry about anything. It's just, we're here to help.
Great. I'm supposed to say this at the end. I need to remind the attendees to stick around to attend the virtual college and career discovery fair. It begins at 5. It's not too late to register for any of the sessions. And then one more thing, where can we find the recordings for this meeting? Sibel, I think, had said that information, and she'll come back on and do a closing in a second. But if we don't have anything else to add, Kathy, any last thoughts? Register.
Oh, I just want to let you know, I logged on last night and I went to the international breakout, and I went to an East Coast breakout, and I think there was a culinary. I was so fascinated, you guys. This is such great stuff. So please log on to other sessions. They do a really nice job of keeping it nice and short and fun and engaging. So great stuff. Sibel will jump back on in a second.
Yeah. And I don't see any other Q&A. Yeah.
Awesome. Great job, ladies. I learned a few things myself.
Good.
All right. So I know everyone wants this amazing reporting and presentation. Remember that the slides are actually in the chat, so you can access these slides. Kathy and Kim were able to provide them in the chat. So go ahead and click on it so you have the slides. But let's say you want to hear their beautiful voices talking about some of these things on the slides all over again. I don't blame you. I totally would too. You can have access to the recording at the StriveScan website, in which I will go ahead and put up for you all now so you know where to go. Oops, sorry about that. Those are all my sessions going on currently. Let's try this again. Still not working. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second, I'll give you all the website. And then also we are, just like we said, we are having that discovery fair happening. So if you all wanted to register for it, it is not too late. Let me see if this will work this time. All right, we all see the thank you slide, right? Perfect, okay. All right, y'all, so this session was absolutely amazing. Kathy and Kim did such a great job touching upon a lot of different points. Okay, I'm actually very, very proud of them for hitting so many different things in 45 minutes. It's a lot to do, but they did fantastic. My attendees, you did fantastic too. I was keeping an eye on those questions, all fantastic questions. Again, if you have any more questions, you can, reach out to multiple of the resources that were pointed out, in this evening's or this afternoon's fair and panel. Couple things before you leave though. Thank you again for being here. Kathy and Kim, thank you so much for being here as well. After you close out this window, you all, a 5-question survey will appear. So give us some feedback. We really do appreciate it. When it comes down to finding a recording, the website is down below. So if you see it says recording will be available at strivescan.com/COSI. So that is where you are going to be able to find the recording for this entire panel. And the slides are given to you in the chat once again, okay? So with that said, write that quickly down, take a quick screenshot or a picture with your phone so you have it. You will be getting an email. I believe this website is also in your confirmation email for the sign up for this panel. So you have it all over the place as well. Now, with that said, thank you all again so much for attending. It has been fantastic, and I hope you all have a great rest of your night. Thank you, everybody.